The owners bought this property 13 years ago, and in the last 12 to 18 months they finished the house refurbishment, which has also meant they could refurbish the garden. And as you can see, it's now brimming with flowers. I'm Chloe from Been There Dug That. Let's go behind the garden gate. We're in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne, and the garden is still not 100% finished, but it's still worth a look around. And I mean, look at these cosmos, and you probably can't hear it, but they are buzzing with bees. Just like me, the owner is passionate about dahlias and edibles as well. So here in the front yard is a huge collection of plants, everything from natives, exotics, edibles, fruit trees, and more. Let's go and explore. Here in the front yard, drainage was an issue, so a lot of the garden beds are mounded or raised up. The soil profile is also really shallow because when they did all the renovations, this front yard became a bit of a dumping site for all sorts of builders' rubble and rock when they were digging. But I think you'll agree what they've achieved here is just beautiful. Let's walk through this Gora forest and explore some more. This maple and crepe myrtle are the only two trees that were kept from the original garden. But now in this space, there's a great range of fruiting trees. There's a pomegranate over here, a few figs in the garden bed back there, as well as some plums. But this area is mostly dedicated to flowers and fun and colour, and it's really admired by passers-by when they stop to chat with the owners. You'll notice that a lot of the dahlias are in pots, and that has two purposes here in this garden. Number one, it means we can fit more dahlias in, but the owners are also passionate dahlia collectors and breeders, and having them contained in pots with their own labels means that they always know what variety it is, and when it comes to dig and divide the clumps in the winter time, it's just easier to sort through them. And I mean, who doesn't want more dahlias in their space? I'm having a bit of a chuckle because when I arrived she said, "Mind all the weeds, just ignore them." And you know what? I can't see any weeds in this garden, and partly that has to do with the really dense planting. Dense planting like this is great at outcompeting weeds and also just keeping the soil covered, so you're helping to stop evaporation, and it gives you such a lush jungle vibe to your garden. So don't be afraid of dense planting. This garden has been completely DIY designed by the owners and planted out by them, so it's always evolving. But that's one of their favourite things about the garden space. These very new plants down here, they're only small now, but they will get up to the height of the fence and offer just a little bit of privacy and a barrier between you and the footpath, which will be really nice. I'm loving this pop of yellow from these daisies, and after seeing them on Gardening Australia, the owner just had to have them. So she headed to the other side of the city to find a supplier, but I think it was worth it. They look amazing. Oh my goodness, these cosmos are nearly taller than me. Down here is a dahlia that actually has a fragrance. Now, it's not the nicest fragrance. It smells a little bit like cut grass, but for a dahlia, when they don't normally have smells, it's pretty cool. Like every good garden, there's always a spot where you have your little bits and bobs, and that's what this side corridor is used for. There are some freshly planted bottlebrush in here, which will grow up and offer some protection from the neighbours. And the backyard is still partly a construction zone, but it's still worth a look. I can ignore the construction mess because look at all these dahlias. There is so many different types in here, including some that they've bred themselves. As beautiful as these dahlias are, they won't all be staying once the garden is completely finished. When the decking is finished and the seating areas around the edges are completed, this area where the dahlias are will become a small flat lawn space. So the owners have been using this dahlia season to decide who stays and who goes and gets moved into a different part of the garden. Which ones would you pick? This backyard space faces full north, so it gets really lovely, hot and sunny. And this area here along the fence line is the perfect space for fruit trees. There's a feijoa and a bunch of citrus along here that are doing really, really well. But I want to go and explore this gorgeous little enclosed space a little bit more. It's mostly dahlias and berries in here. And as cute as this space is, the netting unfortunately is not keeping out the local rodents and rats and mice. So once this garden is completely finished, they're going to instead turn this spot right here into an outdoor dining space by removing these 2 dahlia beds, and they'll create an area that's cozy and inviting to sit down and eat outdoors. You always hear me bang on about how important seating spaces are in gardens, and this one here has its own little private oasis. The front yard is open, exposed, and it's a great place for you to chat with the neighbours. But back here, it's a private space. Sitting here, I can't see any of the neighbours, so it really does feel like I'm in my own little oasis, away from the world. Wow. Back here is a berry bonanza. I can spot all different sorts. There's some summer fruiting raspberries here, some autumn fruiting raspberries here, which are laden with fruit. Yum. Back here is different types of blueberries, and behind you there is a thornless blackberry that's being encouraged to grow vertically. Great use of space, and I can see why they're going to keep these even when they redo the front of this space. There's a sweet little pond in here, and I can spot some rather hungry fish. Let's see if they want something to eat. There's also some feathered friends at the back of the garden that we're going to check out next. The lush vibes continue back here with a nice big established fence, and this has got to be the cleanest and the sweetest little chook house for these 2 girls. You got any eggs? No, not yet. Huh, check out this variegated lemon. Its foliage is amazing. There's no fruit on it yet, but I mean the foliage alone is worth having it. You'll also spot that there's lots of salvias in this garden, and the owners tell me that the bees and the nectar feeding birds absolutely love them. I haven't noticed this yet. What's in here? Oh, that's really clever. Sweet little glass house or greenhouse, and it's all been DIY'd. Very clever. It's got some ranunculus and some other little seedlings that are popping up. Love it. I really hope this garden has encouraged you to give dahlia growing a go and to just plant more flowers. Let me know in the comment section which was your favourite flower or favourite part of this garden. And don't forget to like and subscribe, because I've got plenty more garden tours coming your way. I'll see you next time.